Hey, Steve Ostrowski with Trimble here. Going to show you how to use the new X7 along with Fieldlink version 5.8 to do a scan to model inspection for a quick wall analysis of my wall behind here. It's good for floors, walls, anything that's modeled and anything that's scanned actually. So HVAC, MEP, utility sleeves, conduit, footers, steel, anything that's scanned, anything that's modeled, you can do this inspection comparison, but we'll do it here with my wall behind me so that we can do it live. So right now I have Fieldlink running on my PC just as demonstration purposes. This is actually ran on your T10 tablet. So everything that you see done here is actually done on the tablet. I'm just using my PC to record easily. You can see I actually have a model of my house here. Kind of an old 1895 row house that I was able to create with probably less than 20 scans, so less than 30 minutes, maybe an hour of scanning, and then model it in Sketchup to model in my new kitchen here that I then put on the HoloLens and Sight Vision to overlay those demos. I'm going to collect a scan now. This is just going to be a one scan comparison. I can do multiple, but it's just faster to do one for this demonstration. I'm do low, so it'll collect 12 million points in about a minute and a half or 24 seconds. I'll explain that difference here in a second. And images in another minute. That's more than enough points for this area. I'm also going to make sure it's on the office layer so that it will stay in there, and then I can hit start to collect. So the scanner initially is going to do a couple things that are really cool. First, it's going to self-level to 3 seconds. So if I did a floor analysis, that's what allows us to do that. Most scanners, even our higher end ones, will level themselves to a couple minutes, which is good, but you probably still need a drive rack, and even then a drive rack needs to be calibrated. So this will make sure Z is up on that scan first. The next thing it does is the first optical instrument in the world to do a self-calibration on board. So it will make sure that the data it collects up to 80 meters to 260 feet, that's extended range, hit its range accuracy of about 2 millimeters. So very highly accurate data, and it is guaranteed for the life of the product, and we actually ship with a 2-year extended warranty as well. So workflow-wise, I would say we are, this is a pretty big takeoff in the fact that we register, refine, and georeference. I'll be able to place this scan reference to the model so that I can then export it, but the hardware alone is huge and has many big advantages. Right now it's scanning, do a little over a half a turn. And it's collecting 500,000 points a second of my office here. We'll then manually place that scan to the model. I could resection it to make it very accurately set up, but I don't have control in here. And generally, it's just faster. I'd say quick. The accuracy is more than enough to place it for a wall analysis to 1/8 of an inch or so. So now that it's 50% done, the scan will transfer to the tablet, and then it'll actually start taking pictures here as well. So once the scan transfers in, it'll come in and actually do an auto-orientate to XYZ to find the best right angle, essentially. Once that lines up, I'll be able to move the scan on top of the model. So we'll wait for that to come in, and then we'll move the scan after it does its orientation. This can be done with multiple scans on huge surfaces or full projects. So if you're looking for the sleeves before concrete's poured or even after, you can do that comparison on a slice. And so it can be done very quickly and then laid out actually with the X7's laser pointer as well. So you can start to point out those spots too. And once it's done importing, it will do the alignment again. We should be able to do that. So with this wall, you'll see we have some frames and pictures that will obviously be away from that flat surface. But we also have, it's an old plaster wall, so you'll see deviations of how it turns anyways, which is, I think, pretty cool. Now, if it was on a hoist or an elevator, I could actually point to where the elevator is leaning in and where it may need to be shaved or some mitigating factor. I can essentially act on marking out high and low spots or spots where those deflections exist. You can also do inspection or a component setup for a prefab comparison. So here's my model. Do the sizing is good. I'm going to move it over to the office here. You can see the window's already aligned, but one thing I like to do is actually look at a section cut view and then turn off the model so it's just lines. So what this is going to allow me to do is move the center of rotation to the wall here on the corner and align this essentially up with the wall here to an accuracy of about the range accuracy with a little bit of tilt there. So it'll give me a good representation of kind of the push and pull of that wall to the line there. Now this is on a 2D plane looking down, so I want to make sure I look at it from Z as well. One thing that's important to do is before you collect, even if you don't have scans or even 2D, if you just have a PDF you can bring in and compare to, I like to create a point at 0 and then place my scan to the floor is at 0. I actually embarrassingly didn't do that on this scan collection before I exported it to Sketchup, so my floor is actually at -2, whereas it's nice to sometimes have it at 0, especially if you go to Revit or if I export an RCP or an RCS, because then it'll pop into the correct spot. So here's my scan and model kind of overlaid. I can come in here and do an inspection then of this. Actually, let me come back real quick just to make sure it looks all good. Move it over just a little bit. And so this scan, even if I don't do anything else, is actually registered to the right spot. So when I export this scan, if I wanted to as an RCP, it would come into the correct location as it is compared to the model right now, which I think is very nice. We'll do a full cloud inspection just so you can see the deviations of that. Now, this is nice for a full project, but generally what I would suggest doing most times is actually creating a section box. That section box is going to allow me to interpret the data a lot more clearly as well and faster. So we'll do this one first to show you what it looks like. But obviously there's going to be a comparison to the floor. There is no roof on this model, but if there was, that would do that comparison as well as everything else in the fake furniture I dropped in there as well. So once this inspection is done, we should see a key showing kind of plus minus of how far away the scan points are to the model. So anything gray is 5 inches away, anything is above 5 inches away, anything that's green is within 1 inch. So you can see the walls align fairly well. But one thing I actually like to do even more so is to focus in on one area. So the section box tool is probably one of my favorite things that we have in Fieldlink. It allows me to more clearly look at the data as well as then just export out what I section box as well. So I can send just portions of the data, which makes communication a lot easier. So I could do this and rerun another section box and do it in the smaller area, but because I already have this, so I should move move on. I'm going to use the same data and actually bring it down to 1 inch. And what that's going to do is change my key so that anything red is actually anything gray is over 1 inch away. And you can see I don't have a doorway modeled, but you can see my wall and how it kind of deviates with the flex above the picture and how the picture is actually about 1 inch off the wall. I can bring this into even closer elevations as well. And so it will actually start to show you the flex and form of the wall there. This is a great quick example and just something you can do pretty much anywhere with a flat plane. But you can do a scan to model comparison. I can show real quick just a couple images here. On this example, showing you scan to model comparison of a fire sprinkler. Actually, supposed to come around, route around this steel in this mechanical room in the basement of a college in Cambridge, where it's supposed to, fire sprinkler is supposed to come down and leave up so that there'd be room for the HVAC contractor that was actually had all the stuff there and was installing, but they left in the same elevation, so there's going to be a clash there, and they're able to find this early section, cut it, and export this as an RCS or RCP to share in the collaboration model. We do the same thing with actually a super flat floor analysis here, showing you kind of those 3 pads are all super flat, or mechanical piping, showing you how T installation was actually a little bit out, about 2 inches, so they can prefab their new pipe to fit better. And then even in a hoistway, which is actually the next project I'm going to open, which is showing you the lean of an elevator core at the top of a new build. Great for obviously renovation or retrofits, but the X7 is perfect for new construction as well. So we'll open this up and show you just a quick lean. This was just a brand new hoistway, so just scanned at every interval, essentially. Move that laser out of the way. So that's okay. Here is a section box, kind of just to get it ready for the back of the wall here. I can turn this off and show you more or less what it looked like to collect on every 10 stories with the door open. If I pop into the inspection, you'll actually see this analysis as well. So back wall. You can start to see the deviation away from it and actually the lean in towards the top of about 3 inches, which is a problem. So they're going to have to actually grind away up here, which is something that the X7 can help out with, because essentially you can see where the deviations happen. We can create points and then actually even lay those out with the laser pointer. Now, this is an open stairway, so going to need some fall protection to actually get in there and mark that out, but where they're going to have to grind for those top 2 floors is right about there, and you can mark that out. You can do the same thing with a floor analysis or any MEP stuff as well. But that's the new inspection module in Trimble Fieldlink version 5.8. So thanks, and please reach out to myself, Steve Ostrowski, or any of our Building Point partners with any questions, or if you would like to see a live demo. Thanks.